with the Houston Texans. So here's Kaimi Fairbairn to do the honors. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchdown. Touchback. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, Zeke with a quick feet. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Sliding out of the pocket. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A very solid gain of 27. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A first down carry by Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Jadeveon Clowney in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. They'll need a big play here, will Dak and the Cowboys. After the sack, it's 3rd and long.
Good. Here you go. Here we go, 46. Gun. 26.
Prescott to throw it. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20.
Down. Back 22.
Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Reset.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Reset.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Come back. Two jet.
Watson now to throw. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Jalen Smith in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2 as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. Well, partner, as the Cowboys come back out here, I want to ask you to assess the season. The first couple months of the year for Dallas starting to look like they'd be sitting at home in January. Then the Amari Cooper trade comes. They breeze through November unbeaten, part of a 5-game winning streak. But then a real head-scratcher, Week 15, they get shut out in Indianapolis.
You just wonder if all the wins that got them there, those 5, which were all tough, physical, hard-hitting battles, if it took a little bit out of them before they went on the road and lost Indianapolis in Week 15. But if they get to the playoffs, which it looks like they're going to, are they a threat to New Orleans? Are they a threat to Los Angeles? Are they a threat to Chicago? To me, they are only if it's a low-scoring, physical affair. That's when Dallas plays at its best, and that's what they'll have to do to reduce some of those high-flying teams like New Orleans and Los Angeles.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. They go play action here on 1st down. Roll it. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and now running right through it.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage
also to the right, and threw right into it for an interception.
Well, Charles, you think about the Houston Texans and the turnaround that they've had this year, double-digit.
I have to jump in.
Oh, because you projected this.
Do we remember preseason? Was there something that was said in preseason?
You want to clear your Texans? You want to clear your throat one more time?
Let me clear my throat. Oh, sorry. What were you saying now?
Anyway, I wanted to talk about their season and their turnaround. Double-digit wins, and they're in the mix for a first-round bye.
And just the way that they've played, I mean, let's remember, 0-3 start. Deshaun Watson said, hey, I don't know how much room there'll be on the bandwagon when we get rolling. Well, apparently there's a lot of room on the bandwagon because they won 9 straight, took a loss, and then get back on the beam with a win against the Jets in Week 15. But this is a dangerous team with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver. They can run the ball with Lamar Miller. And that defense, they come for you, don't they?
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal, please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
And now here come the Cowboys. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now, and I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
They'll start the drive with Elliott, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Prescott now on 2nd down. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
3rd and long for Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. He'll let it fly for Austin. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
Reset.
On 1st down, it's Watson. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Hopkins. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Watson going to give this one to Miller. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Tiger. Richmond. Two jet.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. And that's going to be incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. To throw is Watson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Richmond.
To throw on second is Watson. Dancing to his left. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the gun, here's Watson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now Austin. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a handoff to Miller. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this from 34. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive. Go into the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And a heck of a return as he goes out of bounds across the 50 inside the 45.
Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Reset.
Here's a give to Miller. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Back 22. Back 22.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman, and he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
Reset. Down. Back 22. Back 22.
Miller. He will push his way down to about the 14. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Again, it's Miller. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially, no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 3rd down, Miller. Quick, and he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller taking it in from 14 yards out, and the Texans will extend their lead. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They'll buy some time right. He's got him in. Complete. A gain of 32 that time. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Final minute now of the third quarter.
Here we go, 46, 46. 47. Here we go, 46, 46. Done. 26.
Second down, Prescott. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
Now, the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Here we go, 46. 46.
Now Prescott. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it down here to the 43. It'll be a gain of 8, but it also lead to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
You go 46, 46.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Now back to the ground with Elliott. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And this will be a touchdown. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too. How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Now Prescott. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The former first-round pick Kareem Jackson there defensively.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Four down. Check. Switch, and hey. Gun. 26.
Prescott. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, third down, spectacular catch, turns into a first down.
First down saves him from a 3-and-out. That's into the hands of Gallup over the middle. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one goes for 36 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, That's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
You go 46. Go. Get out there. 26.
Throwing. Prescott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper from 21 yards away. And the Cowboys cut into that lead. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Reset.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. He finds an opening past the 40. And he's going to get this to the 40-yard line. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Black 22.
On first down, Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Now Miller, he's had a big workload here tonight. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They keep it with Miller on first down. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Running left is Miller. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's second down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Now a 20th carry of the game for Lamar Miller. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2, now third down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And that is incomplete. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Switch and eight.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Flushed out right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Try and get it all back with one big shot right there, but even if successful, that doesn't get them all the way back to where they need to be. Can't totally abandon throwing the ball underneath as well.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Switch and eight. Let's go, get out. Gun.
A second down throw for Prescott. And that one drops to the ground. Incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds, 19 left. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Get out there. Go. Get out there. Here we go, 47. Here we go, 46.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. Prescott now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. To the air again, Prescott. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Cooper was the target there. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. On 2nd down, Prescott again. And this one hauled in by Tavon Austin. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. His first catch, and it's a big one in overtime. It's a 1st down. But, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from AT&T Stadium.
One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash coming in. Mad about it, had enough of it. Whoa, watch what you saying, how that poppin' and shaking. Y'all is a lazy, my posse deep and I raiding. We act the fool for the paper, had a dream and I made it. El Camino on Dayton's, bitches guess over baby. Put the bread on me, that on my bacon. Big it flat in the bacon, I might just roll out today. I might just roll out to Vegas, head back to my old ways. Cop a roof for all day. Look at me, baby. Look at me, baby. Don't I look like a million? I'm about to clean out the safe. Don't I look like somebody that just be bodying everything? All that talking is great, but I don't be talking. I air it out. All the problems have gotten easy to bury. I'd rather kiss on my. I've been broke way longer than I've been rich, so until it levels out, I'ma take mama to the Marriott and took me so long to get it, gonna spread it out. Let them know all about me when I'm dead and gone. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. One in the hand, one in the bag, bubbling. Look at the cash, bubbling.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room, and we're